What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today I want to give you my first impressions of the Ghost Recon Wildlands beta after playing it for 6 hours. I've been eagerly awaiting this project ever since it was announced back in 2015. All the trailers got me very excited about the idea of a fully open world military stealth game, but this beta actually turned out to be quite a bit different than what I was expecting. Our story takes place deep in the jungles of Bolivia, where a terrible problem is growing. Drug lords have moved into the area and started taking over cities, giving the people who live there two options: either work for the cartels or die. As their power and forces spread, the local government gets very afraid, which is why they called in the Ghost Recon team. We take on the role of one of these elite soldiers being dropped into the country with a single mission: dismantle this evil empire by any means necessary. The real appeal of Wildlands comes from the fact that we get to determine exactly how we want to go about accomplishing each of our objectives. At no point are we ever forced to do something in a certain way. We're always surrounded with choices on how to kill foes, capture targets, and free prisoners. For example, say you're asked to track down a villager who's being held by the cartel in a nearby farmhouse. You can go in full speed, guns blazing, and try and drop them all before their hostage dies, or instead creep in with your buddies at night and use silenced weapons to take them out quietly. There are other choices as well if you want to be truly crazy, like skydiving out of a helicopter and landing in the middle of everyone before you start throwing grenades. The game wants you to pick your own path to victory, but don't expect it to be easy. You can die after just a few hits, so be sure to stay behind cover. At all times, the only thing really keeping you alive in battle is your squad mates. With these guys backing you up, you need to carefully work together so you can adapt to every situation as it evolves. Good communication and smart planning can mean the difference between leaving an enemy base in a body bag or creeping out with stolen intel. In that aspect, online multiplayer is clearly going to be a huge focus of Ghost Recon Wildlands. While I did test a lot of side quests with computer-controlled soldiers, I noticed that they just kind of follow you like robots and wait for you to do most of the shooting. This did still get me through a majority of areas on the first or second attempt, but it wasn't nearly as fun as when I had real people traveling with me. At one point, I had to target a convoy full of important radar equipment that had to be stopped without destroying the lead car. It was a delicate task that required me to use precision aiming and solid driving in order to do it while alone. However, when I did the same mission with friends online, we just drove next to it. I hung out the window and began unloading rounds into their tires until they had to swerve off the road. This was obviously the cooler experience, but both multiplayer and single player seemed to function pretty well overall. When you aren't doing insane missions like this, the game subtly encourages you to explore zones and track down random information. By discovering these sheets of paper hidden in each base, your map is marked with where you can find new gear and resources for upgrading your character. Ghost Recon seems like it wants you to feel like you're part of the action, so the ability to customize things goes surprisingly deep. Not only do we get to create our own hero, but we can craft completely unique guns and outfits as well. Lockboxes are tucked away in some strongholds, and by busting in there, we can get stuff like an improved grip for a machine gun, a better sniper rifle, or something as simple as a new coat of paint. Once you've built a weapon you love, it's time to start raiding control points. The intel we found earlier will point out vehicles and other items that we can steal to make the rebels in Bolivia stronger. That doesn't really mean anything in this beta, but what it does do is give you experience points, leveling you up and giving you access to new combat skills. As a whole, Ghost Recon Wildlands is far better than what I was expecting, especially with how complex this gameplay can be. And yet, it does have one major flaw. In my 7 hours with this game, I saw almost no story whatsoever. We're basically just told where to go and what to kill while commanders talk over our headset and tell us why they need to die. I understand that most shooters don't have a great plot, but many of the developers of Wildlands were acting like this would have some sort of riveting tale, when really I can't even remember a single character's name. Okay guys, these have just been my random thoughts on the Ghost Recon closed beta. Did you play it yourself? Tell me what you think of it and what your favorite gun is in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.